Joining me now to discuss is Evan Seigerman. He's the head of healthcare research at BMO Capital Markets. Evan, thank you so much for being here. It feels like over the course of the year, when we've looked at sector-specific recommendations, in the beginning it was healthcare, then that trade kind of went quiet for a while, and perhaps maybe now it's seeing a resurgence. What do you think is behind it, and can it continue?
So a few things. First of all, I think the recent deals you've seen with some pharmaceutical companies and the administration have helped significantly. If you go back to April, there were major fears around tariffs across the board, but specifically on pharmaceuticals. I think Trump at one point had said 100% tariff on some pharmaceutical products, which really made the sector hard for generalists to invest in. And now that we're seeing, these deals being made, it's a level of ease. I also think we're seeing deals in the sense of M&A. We've seen a lot of M&A. Last week, we had, of course, Pfizer, Metsera with Novo. Today, we had Merck announce a deal. So that type of action suggests that biopharma executives have confidence in their ability to do deals. And that's really great for the entire ecosystem from biotech up to big biopharma.
It's kind of hard to talk about healthcare and biotech without talking about the surge in GLP-1s, the success there, the different iterations different companies are going through. Can you give us sort of a state of play where we are there and who may be the continuing beneficiaries or new beneficiaries as we move forward?
So I'm going to highlight what happened last week. Last week, we saw deals between Lilly and Novo Nordisk with the administration for cash pay, but most importantly, we have a pathway for Medicare beneficiaries to access GLP-1s for obesity. This has been kind of a sticking point as there has not been a pathway yet, available for these patients. So we estimate it could be 25, 30 million potential patients that could get on therapy or be eligible once this kind of gets into play. In terms of who's the leader, you have Lilly, of course. They are our preferred pick when it comes to the obesity play. They continue to execute when it comes to the commercial side of things. And of course, later this year, we could have them launch their oral drug, orforglipron. The other key players, Novo Nordisk, they've had a bit more of a challenging run, shall we say. Today, they actually elected a new board. They were this kind of interloper in terms of the Pfizer-Metsera deal. But taking a step back, we've really seen them starting to lose share to Lilly, and we're concerned around growth into next year, despite category growth in the overall GLP-1 space.
That's interesting. And obviously, speaking of deal news, you have Merck nearing a deal for flu treatment startup Sedera, or at least that's been reported. I mean, being able to prevent a flu as opposed to just lessen the symptoms would be amazing.
For sure, for sure. I think it's an interesting technology. Merck has a lot of work to do, shall we say, to deal with the Keytruda LOE later in the decade. They are making progress. Last weekend they presented data for their oral anti-cholesterol drug that's targeting PCSK9. Very interesting. Could be very important. This deal is still TBD. We noticed there's no CVR, so they're taking all the risk up front. I think it's about $9.8 billion in cash.
Wow. When I noticed the share price of Eli Lilly, do you think it could be looking at a stock split anytime in the future?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I mean, I think there's a bit of a psychological threshold of $1,000.
Sure.
People like that. It's also getting close to $1 trillion market cap. So you really have to be confident in the long-term trajectory of the GLP-1 obesity space, which we are. A stock split could make it easier for some folks to invest, but I don't think that's a hindrance necessarily. People see value and could see value more from where the stock is now.